Have you ever thought of a sin no one really talks or preaches about? Even many pastors and preachers talk about this sin, but this specific sin has led so many Christians to hell. Now, what is this sin? I'm about to tell you a story. I want you to pay attention to it so you don't miss out on what that sin is, because it will be mentioned somewhere in between this video. Now, let's get to it. There was a man that loved God so much and will do anything, and I mean anything, to defend the word of God. But the only thing that was holding him back was he never believed that hell was real. Mind me, this guy was so much of a believer. He was a prayerful guy, feared God, and always wanted to build a strong relationship with God. But the only thing that was holding him back was that he just never wanted to accept and believe the fact that hell was real. From this man's logic, God is so loving and will never make or create such horrible place for mankind. Do not get it twisted. From that logic, he was 100% right on God being loving but also wrong. This man had preachers and even his family trying to teach him about hell, but he just refused to believe that hell was real. He made his belief clear and known that nothing could convince him except God himself to reveal it to him. So one day, this man decided to fast for days and pray for God himself to reveal to him that hell was real. I want you guys to remember that this man's relationship with God was just astronomical. I am not going to say he was a perfect Christian, but he was the closest to one. So the next day, this man called his workplace and told them he wouldn't be able to show up for days because he had something going on. This man packed his clothes and all his necessary items needed and decided to go camping all by himself in a whole different place, which was at least a 4-hour drive away from home. He finally made it to his destination and decided to build up his tent and take a rest after his long drive. As he was laying down, he ended falling asleep. This is where the craziest part begins. He had a dream he was being chased by some gigantic, scary-looking demons. These demons were 10 times faster, stronger, and even smarter. As he was running, he just wasn't fast enough compared to these demons, so he ended up being caught. He started crying and screaming for help, but no one responded or came to help. As he kept screaming and crying, the demons answered, "You might as well just give up now because no one's going to save you here. You are stuck with me forever." Then he woke up in fear and decided to pray, trying to ask God what that was. He was all confused and scared. This man prayed for hours and hours trying to get a response from God, but there was no answer. He got frustrated, angry, and sad and thought God was ignoring him. He stopped praying and decided to get his snacks, drink water, and go back to sleep. This time, it was just not a nap or sleep. Something way deeper than that happened. As he closes his eyes sleeping, he sees his own body lying down. He was so confused and started questioning things. He looked down at his foot and realized he was just floating in the air, just like a balloon. At that moment, he was smart enough to realize he wasn't alive anymore, and his soul has left his body. He tried to get himself back into his body, but just couldn't do it. A few minutes go by, and he sees himself spinning in the air, faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, till he disappears. As he disappeared, he arrived in a dark place that was so dark you wouldn't even be able to see your own hands. That is how dark it was. As he was in there, a heavy hand grabbed him by the shoulders, and as he turned around, it was the same scary-looking demon he had seen in his dream. And the demon said, "Oh, hey, little one, you are officially mine now." Before he got to say a word back to that demon, the demon dragged him down to hell, and he saw people crying, being tormented, and screaming for forgiveness from God. This man saw too many things that we might not talk about in this video, but maybe the next video. As he was in there experiencing this pain and torment in hell, and the craziest thing about it was, there were more Christians in there more than any other type of people. As he was in there, going through the pain, crying for help, a bright light appeared in there. The light was so bright he couldn't even look at it. So, he asked, "Who are you?" The light responded, "I am the way, the truth, and life. You always wanted proof from me that hell was real, even though I sent people to come talk to you about hell, which you still ignored because you wanted me to show you, so I actually did now." "Jesus," he asked. "Hello, my beloved one," Jesus responded. A bright smile lit on his face and said, "I thought we had a great bond, Jesus. Why am I here?" Jesus said, You needed proof that hell was real, right? He asked. I thought Christians were supposed to make it to heaven. So why are there so many Christians in here? Jesus responded, yes, my dear one. They were my followers in the eyes of the world, but not in the eyes of mine. They were all lukewarm and hypocrites. They choose to ignore my words and flip them into a worldly way that suits their sinful lifestyle. He asked again, what sinful lifestyle are you talking about? And what sin has led most Christians in here? Jesus responded, it's the little things that have led so many Christians in here. So now he got really curious and wanted to know what this little thing is. So he asked, is it lust, alcoholism, profanity, adultery, killing, stealing, lying? Like, what really is it? Jesus responded, every single thing you said may be part of the reason, but it's nowhere close to the main one that has led a lot of Christians in here. So now he's all confused because he was possibly one of the closest to the perfect Christian. But somehow, he guessed everything wrong. What possibly could be this little thing you are talking about? He asked. Jesus responded, gossiping. He shockingly responded, gossiping. Yes, gossiping. People talk about other people behind their back all the time that they even forget it's a sin because they've gotten too comfortable with that sin. Jesus responded, yes, guys. It might not sound like an extreme sin, but gossiping is one of the main sins that has led so many people, especially Christians, to hell. In Ephesians 4:29, it says, do not let any unwholesome talk come out your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. Most people gossip several times every day without even having a clue on what they are doing. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you gossiped about someone? Let me guess. You can't even remember off the top of your head. That's how normal the devil has made this sin be to us. As long as we are all alive, we can pray for God's help and guidance to help us stay away from this sin. This is not just a battle only, but a strong spiritual battle for all of us. But with the help of God, everything is possible. I want you all to understand this. It could be the littlest thing that can lead your soul to hell for eternity. If you didn't know this, I guess you do now. I want to save others from this behavior, just the way God used this channel to make you aware of this sin. Send this message to anyone. Let us help people become aware of their sins so we can all avoid the gates of hell. Hell is a place you don't want to go, and I will say it again. Hell is a place you don't want to go. If you want to get closer to God and avoid the gates of hell, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Until next time.